Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about the power of the handwritten thank you or the handwritten note.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about the power of the handwritten letter, the handwritten note, the thank you card. I think it's something that a lot of parents teach, and I find it fascinating that although they teach it, they don't do it themselves. I, by trade, am a life coach. I empower people to pursue their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, map it out, and take many steps or daily steps towards their goals. And one thing I know about life is this, is we need other people to achieve the things that we desire. And in order to impact people, we need to let them know how we feel. We need to let them know how important they are in our lives. And oftentimes a handwritten note is key to them knowing that, hey, they're important enough for you to take the time in your busy schedule, my busy schedule, your busy schedule. We're all busy, just so you know. Actually, busy is a term I've chosen to, for the most part, to take out of my vocabulary. I'd rather be productive, not busy, right? Busy work. Nobody wants busy work at work, right? They want to be productive and a part of a whole, part of the success of something. They don't want to just be doing busy work. So we're all productive. We all got things to do. We all have agendas. We all have calendars. But it shouldn't take away from being able to sit down, write out a card, write out a letter, and tell people who are important to you why they're important. My wife makes it a point to have my son, every time he has a party or a birthday party or a get together and he gets gifts, like, we have him sit down at the table and write out, thank you for getting me the G.I. Joe, thank you for getting me the Paw Patrol thing, thank you for getting me this, and thank you for coming to my party. And he'll sit there for 2 hours writing out his 10, thank you letters. It's not easy for a kid to write out thank you letters. But somehow the art of that has gotten lost as adults, because I have never come across a client that when I teach them this strategy, I say, hey, when was the last time you've written a handwritten letter to somebody to thank them for something they've done in your life, or just to acknowledge them for the importance they are in your life? And I've not yet once had one client say, yeah, I do that often. Or oftentimes it'll be, hey, I haven't done that since I was a kid when my mom made me do it. And so the parents meant good and had good lessons around that. However, there's no follow through as adults. If you're going to teach a strategy to a child and you think it's important, I think it's important for you or for them to see you do that, not just teach it. Now, I'm sharing this because I wrote a handwritten letter to a client, and just today I got a response back. I use an app, a video texting app. So he was able to send a video back, and he said, hey, I was going through some challenges today. My mindset was off. He's a Christian, so he said, I was praying around, God, help me through this. I'm just having a bad and off day. He goes, somebody said that they were going to send him something overnight that he needed to complete a project, and he was waiting for it in the mail. As he got to the mailbox, that package wasn't there yet, but there was a stack of mail, so he grabbed a stack of mail. Disappointed that this package wasn't there yet, he's fumbling through, and he comes across a letter from me. He says he opens it up and he looks at it, and as he had been asking for a sign from God, there was something written in that letter. He read it off to me, and he said, this last line is so key to everything you said. Thank you so much. I know what I need to do now. Thanks for taking the time. And he's in virtual tears. Like he's a grown man in his mid 40s crying because of what I said in that letter. Not only that, I talk to him every week as my client. And I said to him, I say these things to you every single week. But the power of the handwritten letter, letting him know it's not the time he pays me for. I took time out of my day to write him a lengthy letter and let him know that I care and let him know how I view. So he doesn't hear it and it's out the door. It's not recorded. It's something that he could put on his desk as a reminder of he's on the right track. And regardless of mindset, he's a leader and he must lead his family. And there was something to that effect at the end, because as men, dads, it's our job to lead. And if we can't lead, our household is going to fall apart. And I challenged him. He's been leading, but he's been letting back the reins. I was like, you are the chosen leader for this family. Lead your family. The point of all of this is there's so much power in writing a letter. In the day and age of texts and emails and instant gratification, there's no value if I had to type that in a text to him. Like, it would have been another text amongst many. But in a world where very few things come through the mail outside of certain bills and advertisements, to get a handwritten letter out of the blue, not on a holiday, not on a birthday, not like on an anniversary, but out of the blue, is very rare. And that stands out. So I'm encouraging you parents out there who tell your kids that they got to write a thank you letter for the toy they got from the kid and they don't understand why they're writing a thank you letter, to write thank you letters yourself, to write acknowledgement letters of people who are important to you. Put them in the mailbox and say, hey, I'm writing Grandma a letter. Would you like to write her one too? Well, why are you writing a letter? Because I love her and I care about her, and I want her to know how much she means to me, because she helped create me and she helped create you because I'm a part of her. So if you'd like to write a letter, you could send her one and I'll send her one. It'd probably mean the world to her. If you're writing it, it's kind of like, I can write one too. But if you're like, hey, your grandma just sent you a present and another $20 bill, you need to write her a letter. Like, well, when was the last time you wrote grandma a letter? It goes back to that obedient thing. Well, I'm not doing it because I need to do it. She knows how I feel. You need to write it. Well, she should know how that kid feels. Do yourselves a favor. They will mimic you. It's a lot easier to get kids to do things when they've seen you do it 1,000 times. So, again, if you're that parent who has your kids write letters every time they have a party, and thank you letters, or do yourself a favor. Do that yourself. Because the response I got back from that client today put me in tears as I was watching it. Because it wasn't meant to impact him that fully, but it was the right message at the right time that he needed to hear. And he lives across the country. It took 4 days for it to get there. But it showed up on the perfect day. I don't know jack about parenting, but I do know a little bit something about feeling special in a world that makes us feel inferior. Make people feel special. Write them a handwritten letter. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.